From Nepal and Bangladesh to India, South Asia is experiencing its worst flooding in more than a decade. This year's monsoon rains have led to at least 1,200 deaths and affected more than 40 million people in the region. In India, at least 850 people have died and hundreds of thousands have been evacuated.
Our first priority is to shift the flood-hit victims to safer places, provide them with food item packets, clean water in more quantity, and provide them shelter.
While the rain left farms underwater and hit the country's agricultural sector in poorer regions like Bihar, the damage also spread to urban centres such as Mumbai. Train services in the country's most populous city were halted, hospitals evacuated, and many businesses shut down. Many blame the authorities for failing to invest in required water infrastructure. Mumbai was reportedly given $1.5 billion to upgrade its ageing drainage system, but authorities failed to arrange buffer zones for rising water levels.
It seems as if no measures have been taken. It has been raining so heavily that people are having a tough time.
Mumbai is India's financial hub and richest municipal body with a bank balance of $9.5 billion. The city contributes almost a fifth of the country's GDP, bringing in more than $400 billion last year, and 10% to the country's factory employment. Experts now estimate that almost $1 billion worth of Mumbai's economic output could be lost within 3 days of disruption. And with all these sums stashed in the bank, many question whether it's the will to improve the country's infrastructure as well as people's lives that's really missing. Kerry Alexandra, TRT World.
And Rebecca Bundan is in Mumbai for us and joins me now live from there. Rebecca, thanks so much for being with us. Give us an idea of what the situation is like right now in terms of the flooding, and what are businesses telling you about how they've been affected?
Businesses are saying that they have been very heavily impacted by the floods. I mean, what we've seen now is today the floods have actually largely cleared and the rains have eased substantially. But what happened on Tuesday was when the heaviest flooding was in place, was that many workers were actually sent home by their companies, and some people even had to sleep in their offices. And then today, companies advised a lot of workers to stay at home and work from there, and authorities also told residents to remain at home. This has meant that productivity has been heavily hit, and companies in that regard have been affected dramatically. Business meetings have been cancelled, conferences cancelled, and things like that. So just generally, revenues have been affected. And then also there's been the physical impact as well on shops and things like that, where they've seen water damage to goods and produce. We met one shopkeeper this morning, for example, who said that he estimated damage worth thousands of dollars to the groceries in his very small shop. So the impact has definitely been very huge.
OK. This is not the first time that Mumbai has been hit by severe flooding. The last big one was in 2005. How does the financial impact of that event compare to what is likely to be the impact of this one?
So a lot of people have been likening this situation to the 2005 floods. They were particularly devastating. In that case, hundreds of people were killed, and the economic impact was also massive. Now, in that case, back in 2005, banking services were very significantly affected. Trading on the stock exchanges also largely ground to a halt. And on one of those days, in fact, they were closed. What we've seen here in this case, for example, with the stock exchanges, is that volumes have reduced. Back in 2005, the floods had an impact for many days. So what we really have to wait and see is how quickly Mumbai manages to bounce back, and how soon business life returns to normal, to assess the real damage that the floods have done economically.
Rebecca Bundan in Mumbai, thank you ever so much.